now, of course, there's a bit of moderation. It looked like we'd go all the way to 18,100 in this push higher. It perhaps will fall short by 30, 40 points. But the game changed. Starting 3 p.m. on the Nifty, the index added 100 points. The Bank Nifty added 300 points from 3 to 3:30, or maybe 3 p.m. to the high after that. 100 and 300 respectively on those two indices. So banks and the non-bank stock which did sort of contributed heavily is ITC incrementally, and then Reliance, of course, on an overall absolute basis did very well. But you also had other help from companies like Nestle, etc. Nestle on the day of the earnings release did not do very much, but after that, for the last 2 days, it's been performing. By the way, on absolute day-on-day returns, it's the top performing gainer on the Nifty. L&T, HDFC Life and Apollo Hospitals are the other gainers that we had on the index. So it's a super close, and the move continues. Rima.
Well, on the losing side, Axis Bank was the top drag, down 2.5%. The bottom line was impacted by the provisions in account of the Citi acquisition. Other than that, very few losers. You had Titan closing in the red, ONGC down a bit, Cipla down 0.7%. But there was no loser with a cut of more than 1%, except Axis Bank. Outside of the Nifty, that's where all the action was, because we had so many individual companies reporting numbers, whether it's PI Industries with its acquisition, or even Laurus Laboratories post the management conversation.
Well, that's right. Talking about stocks that move more than 1% from the broader markets, you had plenty. PI Industries locked up 10%. Remember, it's a large cap company out there that did very, very well. On the flip side, Godrej and Raymond, they got into a deal. It's positive for Raymond, but the stock had already run up enough. So that ended with a cut-off closure around 6%. Godrej Consumer Street believes they paid too much. So that's down closer around 4.5% odd. CSB Bank, big run, big outperformer. Unfortunately, the NIMs compressed more than expected. So that stock goes home with a cut of closer around 4.5%. Crumpton, well, it came in for selling yet again. So that one did see some selling. Voltas ends down only 1%. Remember, early morning it was down 5.5%. Though for the week itself, the stock still ends with a cut of around 6% or thereabouts. But it's recovered goodish bit. Voltas is what we're talking about. A couple of other notable movers. REC stock, technically as well, is looking very, very good. PFC is the other stock that technically as well is looking quite good. And Syngene, one of the surprise good numbers that we saw, Rima. And that went home with a gain of another 4% today. So it was a party today. We have come off the high point of the day. The final tick is much lower, but I think on an average, we should end in this vicinity of around 18,050 because the volume spike was quite large at around 350.
And quite surprising for day one of a new series. And ahead of a long weekend, but clearly the bias is on the upside. But some other mid-caps with phenomenal price and volume action. Edelweiss Financial locked in an upper circuit of close to about 20%. EIH up nearly 10%. On the banking side, smaller banks, Punjab and Sindh Bank, J&K Bank, rallying close to about 7-8%. Zomato, a good 6% up move coming through on Zomato. And this week itself, it's seen a rally of close to about 15%. Plenty of action, and the action is going to continue over the weekend as well, with names like Kotak Mahindra Bank and RBL Bank reporting numbers.